Welcome back. It's been a while. How you been?
Good.
You might remember me from World War II, a documentary.
World War II. What an interesting topic.
Remember when my mom said... Okay, so basically the part where my mom said the line that I was going to think, the video's not really working right now, so instead we have Mom on FaceTime. So if you could just say the line one last time, that'd be fantastic.
Okay. I'm angry too. I blame the Jews.
Thank you. Okay, sorry again. Bye. Mom would like to say for the record that she likes Jewish people.
For the record, I really like Jewish people.
She likes Jewish people.
She was playing a part.
She was playing the role. It was a weak poor connection. Well, it was just for a segue. We're not anti-Semitic, I promise. Let's dive into that. So who are the Jews? Jerry Seinfeld is a Jew. You ever think about what he thinks is gonna happen when he dies? Ever watch the Bee Movie? Remember when Barry's friend stung that lawyer's dump truck behind? Ever thought what old Barry Benson was thinking was gonna happen to his friend if he died? Well, I'm very qualified, so listen. This is Jewish Eschatology, a documentary. What is eschatology? The dictionary defines it as the part of theology concerned with death, judgment, and the final destiny of the soul and of humankind. So what is Jewish eschatology? Well, there is no easy answer because the belief in the afterlife varies between Jewish sects and time. According to a religious landscape survey taken in 2001, 83% of American Jews claim a belief in God. Only 38% say they believe in something called heaven, and 22% say they believe in something called hell. Obviously, there's a lot of discrepancy here.
Why are the stars no longer right?
In my relentless endeavor to discover the reason behind this, I came across a fellow journalist who came up with a pretty good answer. Her name is Amy E. Schwartz, who basically said that Judaism is reluctant to encourage a positive view of the afterlife because it might encourage a more positive outlook towards death. Anything that would see death as a salvation risks encouraging the believer to neglect his or her job on earth or opt for thoughtless martyrdom. Therefore, Judaism as a whole focuses more on the here and now than on the afterlife. Most believe that as long as one tries their best to live their life as a good Jew, they will be taken care of in the end, which they do believe that this world does have an end. Jews see life as a test, and our next life is our reward. One question I came across was, if God's all-knowing, then why are we put to a test? That's a good question. The Bible commentators, and by Bible I mean the Hebrew one, explain that the purpose of the test is not for God to learn something, but rather for the person being tested to bring out his or her fullest potential. Much like how a good teacher doesn't really need to test their students to see how they are doing in class because they already know that. But the tests are there only for the students to go beyond their limitations and bring out their very best. So back to the point. In Judaism, the afterlife is referred to as Olam Haba, which literally translates to the world to come. This world is like a lobby before the Olam Haba. Prepare yourselves in the lobby so that you may enter the banquet hall. Pirkei Avot 4:21. This quote comes from the Mishnah, an authoritative collection of exegetical material embodying the oral tradition of Jewish law and forming the first part of the Talmud. Rather than having heaven and hell, Olam Haba is one place. However, its nature reflects one's life they had in this world. This is explained by Rabbi Chaim Volozhin. Olam Haba is made up of the actions of the persons which he expanded and added and perfected into a place for himself to dwell. And so it is with the punishment of Gehenna. The sin itself is his punishment. Gehenna or Gehinnom is thought to be a small valley in Jerusalem. And the Hebrew Bible, Gehenna was initially where some of the kings of Judah sacrificed their children by fire. I don't know why they did that. It seems a little extreme. Therefore, it was deemed to be cursed. Book of Jeremiah 7:31, 19:2-6. pivoting back to the lobby. Whereas in Christianity, it could be explained that when you die, two doors would open to actually two separate banquets, heaven and hell. And how you behaved in this life would determine which one you'd be escorted into. But in Judaism, there's only one door that opens. But let's say you were being terrible in the lobby. Then people would probably be annoyed with you, and you wouldn't be well received once the banquet actually began and would thus have a bad time. But let's say you were good, then you would have absolutely no reason to have a great time when the banquet began. And like how people prepare for a meal by washing their hands, Orthodox Jews believe that to prepare for Olam Haba, they must prepare through Torah study and good deeds. When this banquet or Messianic age occurs is something Orthodox and Reformed Jews do not agree on. Delicious. Actually, it kind of tastes bad. Many Orthodox Jews believe that the day of judgment will come after the... Would you be quiet? After the Messiah. According to the Talmud, as the Messianic era approaches, the world will experience greater and greater turmoil, vast economic fluctuation, social rebellion, and widespread despair. Naturally, this has led ultra-Orthodox prolific author and member of the Hebrew University's Jewish Music Research Center, Rabbi Matityahu Glazerson, to claim that Judgment Day is nearly upon us. And honestly, he may have a point. Reformed Jews, on the other hand, do not accept the idea of a Messiah. They believe they'll be judged as soon as they die. Yep, I'm definitely in there. However, some believe they'll actually be judged twice. First when they die by God, and secondly by the Messiah on the day of judgment. This is certainly not the only difference between Orthodox and Reformed beliefs on eschatology. Some Orthodox Jews believe that the souls of the righteous dead go to a place similar to the Christian heaven, or that they are reincarnated through many lifetimes, or that they simply wait until the coming of the Messiah when they will be resurrected. Similarly, Orthodox Jews might believe that the souls of the wicked are tormented by demons, or that wicked souls simply cease to exist. Going back to the survey, it can be inferred that Orthodox were likely those who agreed with believing in a heaven and hell of sorts. Many Orthodox Jews believe that after they die, each person's physical body will be resurrected. Fun fact, a Jewish cemetery is often referred to as a house of life by people who believe that the people buried there are waiting to be resurrected. Therefore, cremation or any action that changes the body after death is strictly forbidden. So, if for whatever reason, you wanted to, an Orthodox, they ain't gonna have an autopsy. I'm just putting that out on the table. Reformed Jews believe that only the soul will be resurrected. The body is not needed because in life it was simply a container for the soul. But this belief that even just the soul will be resurrected is a fairly new belief for the Reformed community. After the 17th to 18th century, talk about the afterlife was perceived as superstitious to many Reformed Jews, so they began to ignore the concept of an afterlife. Recently, however, more Reformed Jews have begun to reclaim Jewish teachings of the afterlife, resurrection, and immortality. Even if not all Jews believe in the literal interpretation, they are beginning to at least recognize them as part of Jewish literature and teaching. I don't really have a rubric, so I don't really know when to stop, but I'd say we hit all the marks. Like Karl Marx. He's another Jew. And so we've come full circle. The community is incredibly diverse. And not only ethnicity and culture, but also in the thing that binds them together. Their faith. And so what Karl Marx thinks will happen to him when he dies is probably something completely different to... Well, I think he already died. It's probably something completely different to what Jerry Seinfeld thinks will happen when he dies. But basically, just do your best, be a good person, and everything will be alright. Or as the Jews would say, Yehe ye beseder. Well, it's been a privilege, and as the Jews would also say, Shalom.